We are now recording the March 6th, 2020 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Some people that are with us now, some people that are not too, are on the top 100 pro advisors. Yay, Sarah, Matthew,
I think
Linda.
it's that way. That's how it is on my screen.
With us earlier, he's on the list.
Ernest.
Yeah.
Dan DeLong, I saw his name on the list. Jacob, not Jacob, Caleb Jenkins is on the list. There's a whole bunch of great people on the list.
I can't decide.
Too hard
I have
to pick.
vote every day for about like 3 weeks to get everybody that I like. Deb Kilsheimer is on there.
Deb, I love Deb.
Some standards that I love are Dawn Brolin.
Dawn Brolin.
Tanya, who has been on the show with us before, a Canadian person, is on there.
Canadian person. We got one on here too.
Well, so actually this year is the first year that they're changing up the way that all of the awards are being done, and they're doing an international version also.
Awesome. That's
so
awesome.
There's going to be a couple different changes the way they structure the whole awards and such. Just trying to pull up some notes about that too.
Yeah, because I think we'll just be on the list. We know they're going to be top 100. We know it. Hector,
Yeah.
and all that. So I was trying.
Heather Satterley.
Heather and Liz, both of
Liz
them.
is
Look at
on
them
it.
as a team now.
Yeah.
Surprised it's not on the list is Stacy Kildare.
Oh no? I wish the list was alphabetical.
I know. That would make it so much easier, wouldn't it? But they make you read the whole thing.
It's how you filled out your form.
It's by the last name, I thought.
Mine is alphabetical by last name.
Is it? I thought it was like just in there because it's usually like, unless they changed it.
Yeah, because I'm right next to Hector Garcia, which means.
Oh, so it is alphabetical. Okay, I take it back.
Okay.
I think I've been looking too many doorknobs.
That east of the equator?
It's east and north of the equator. That is north of the equator because Matthew confirmed that the other day that the Aurora Borealis is north of the equator.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Oh, I should have hit record.
Anyways.
So the link is in our group. Go on, vote often.
I think you can only vote once.
Once a
Not
day.
once a day.
Use different emails.
I thought about that too.
So
But I thought it was once a day unless they changed the rules.
Seriously? You can vote every day?
Well,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
looking it up right now to find the rules.
I put it on
Okay.
Facebook and my choir members were voting. I'm like, I think she's a good accountant.
They've, I thought
Each
it was.
person is only allowed to vote one time. Each person can vote for as many as 3 deserving individuals.
Oh,
Oh, that makes sense because otherwise, God, there'd be so many votes if you let people vote every day.
right. But
It'd be
I
like Firm of
remember
the
people
Future.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll still
Do
vote
it every
all
day.
17 emails for you, Linda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I've some of the details of the top 100 Pro Advisor Awards. Murph did an article on Insightful Accountant back a couple months ago. And the categories that they're going to be including this year, categories will include QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, Trainer Writer, Business Outsourcing, Niche Practice, Social Media, Integrations Desktop, QB Appologist, Up and Comer, and Canada. A person may score in multiple categories, but the one they score the highest in would be a category they may earn their award in. Things that count towards an application, because we have to fill in our own application, certifications, what the most current one and the highest available for your category would be emphasized. Trainings, the Intuit ecosystem and related events. So it says you should include trips to like Connect, San Jose, all that kind of stuff. Third-party products, tell us what you're using and how, and more of the details about the different apps. Client reviews, they'll be looking at like profiles to check out your different reviews. It's done on a sliding scale to equalize for people that have more potential clients with those who may have limited access to clients. So those are all things that they wrote about some time ago that it's gonna be part of the decision-making process apparently.
Right. So if you're nominated and then they vote and you make it to the top 100, you have to finish filling out the application if you haven't filled it out.
Yep. I should
Well,
probably
the
start with that.
application is due a day after the voting ends.
Yeah.
Because so after the voting's done, they have a group that goes and reviews the submissions. So everybody's voting is only a portion of this, if I remember correctly.
That makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
does make sense. Hello, Brandon. We were talking about you.
Was it good?
It was funny.
It was, well, so you were making fun of me. That's good.
No, everyone has had the experience. I said this earlier. Everyone's had the experience of sitting down and just doing the data entry and doing the work, and then coming across that one hilarious entry that you just
Oh my
start
God.
laughing to yourself about.
And that was yours this week.
BS with Al, $60 an hour.
Yes, yeah, and two BS charges. I mean, it was. That's the reason I found it. Because it was a duplicate, but they had separate descriptions on their BS charges.
Wouldn't you love to get paid for that?
I would retire. I could have retired already. Yes, I could do it for the best of them.
That was hysterical. That was the light of my week this week.
Dwayne.
Dwayne is with us.
Dwayne's hiding though.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Dwayne. Larry's muted too.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hi,
There you
Larry.
are.
So I do have a question before we get done here, Gina.
Okay.
For our desktop peeps.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Linda and Matthew, you're out.
This is after we're done recording?
I heard you're being brought over to the dark side of QBO by somebody that has a white shirt on.
Yeah, I'm working on it. So, and he's gonna help me.
I didn't say anything about that.
No, he told me.
Oh.
He named his cat QBO. I mean,
Nope.
come on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so he could yell at it when it was in trouble.
It's a devil cat, I heard from all his. The devil cat.
That's why it's named QBO. I did that, and we're recording.
Don't you hate on my QBO?
Intuit, it's a totally different QBO. Don't worry, it's a totally different QBO.
It's a cat.
It's spelled different. It's spelled QUEOH, right, with a hyphen. It's a hyphenated name. And the cat apparently is a big, you know what hole, from what I heard.
That is a fact.
It
It'll attack for no reason. Very, very similar to QBO.
Oh, Brandon.
And we're still recording.
Okay, we're going to change the subject here.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? I'm trying to go.
It's apple sour you're drinking, apparently.
Share Connect. Mark, you have some announcements for us? Mark is,
Yes.
there we are.
So we were talking earlier that Citrix, which has had Share Connect, they've announced that the program will basically stop working on the 30th of June. It may work for some users as they, beyond June 30th, as they basically disable the service, but that's plan on June 30th if you're using Share Connect. So we've got to look into other options that allow us to access client machines remotely and have the security and control over that access. So
So we'll have to do another show like we did the ACH Connect, and we'll come up with whatever options are available and what's good and what's bad. Good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, that one thing about this is the Share Connect has kind of been a barrier to us moving to a different. Citrix has been pushing for at least a year for us to move to a different plan, which I think Sarah too, which actually could save some money, but we haven't done it because it meant losing access to Share Connect. So now kind of forcing that. So
They're forcing the situation now.
And they're cutting the fees drastically, which helps. You know, that was a shock. But you know, like they're recommending go to my PC, and they even came up with this cute little chart of Share Connect, yes, 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 no, 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 you know, against go to my PC. But what they didn't mention was that you have to pay per computer. So Share Connect, I have an account per staff member, per user, but I have unlimited clients. And that's been important because I have one client with 5 machines.
Right, right.
I don't know which one of if it's going to be the boss or the AR gal or the, you know, AP department that calls and, you know, who needs my assistant. And it needs to be instant. It can't be them Zoom and put in a number. When they're flustered and they need your help, I'd go, I'll be there in a second, click. And it just works flawlessly. So I was hoping somebody would buy it, but Citrix bought it and then they're dumping it.
Killing it.
We just changed from GoToAssist to Zoho Assist.
Yeah, that's on my list. Zoho Assist is on my list to compare. Remote PC, GoToAssist, Zoho, and then
We've been on GoToAssist for years and really liked it, but Zoho Assist has been good for us. So
sounds like another show. Sounds like a whole show to discuss that.
Because we all have different needs, like Mark said, and I have sort of the same problem here, just because I want to control my liability probably. But you know, if you have a staff of 5, I want to say you can dial into that client, but you can't dial into that client. I want a little bit more control that way.
Granular user.
Right, control. And along with the logs to show who accessed what.
Who
so that's
was
an
where.
important thing. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Me, somebody came in my computer last night and messed something up, and I need to be able to prove that it wasn't from my office. You know, so it's scary when people give you unrestricted asset.
It's a lot of responsibility.
And I have one or two that says I want to be there. You know.
So what I
do more because of QBox, we don't have to kick people off to the machine and then they're pacing.
Right. And you do have that user log.
Yeah. Well, we have, we have some users, and not to prolong this, but we have our clients that are, you know, they have VPNs that you can use and then you would use remote desktop or something like that. But then the problem comes in if you got, well, this client's got this type of firewall or this type of VPN, so you got to load that VPN, and then you got to load this other VPN, and you got to load another one for another client, and it gets ridiculous after a while, especially if you have multiple users on your side, and then there's a security issue with building a VPN between you and
you can layer it in with
client's network.
You can layer it in with Duo. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what a client has done for me. So I have a VPN, and then I get a Duo notification, and so then I know that somebody's trying to access it with mine, and it comes to my phone, and I have to accept it before it'll let me in.
Well, and that brings up another good requirement. You want multi-factor authentication on your side, so that it's not just credentials to get into the, the
host
remote computer.
Yeah.
Half the choir has voted for me.
PayPal and QB Merchant Services are not connecting going forward.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to use Intuit Merchant Services to get a PayPal payment anymore after like April 4th or 6th. I got notification on that in an email. So for some reason, I guess the association with PayPal, and PayPal just did something to change too. I can't remember. I read something about they just did something. And,
Nina, Tiffany.
Hi, Tiff.
Hi, Tiffany. See you next week.
You know what? PayPal bought Honey.
Oh, that's right.
That app for like a ton of money and started this whole $1 billion merger stuff. I wonder if there's any correlation like with like the data moves and such.
Could be. That makes sense. And the other thing is sales tax. If you use the new sales tax in QuickBooks Online, not the old one, but the new one, and you were using the automation piece where you could just click and pay your sales tax, they had like a link somehow to the Department of Revenue of whatever state, certain states, to click the thing and have it done automatically for like $7 or $9 is gone. It's going to be gone on. You can process your March payment before April 20th, but then you won't be able to do your April payment anymore. That's going to be gone. So
the cutoff for that too.
Yeah. So it's still going to be the sales tax module will be there, but you're going to have to go on the Department of Revenue site and then do the form and pay your taxes, which is.
So did they do away with it completely, or is this one of the things that they're moving to advanced? Or
No, it's across the board in sales tax. So I don't know. It's
think
just that one piece.
I don't think anybody used it. I think this is probably one of those examples of where the actual user engagement was so low, realistically, because nobody wanted to deal with that sales tax module.
Yeah.
You said it cost?
It was a fee for it. Yeah. I would have paid the fee just not to have to go on sales tax.
Just pop over and fill it out.
Yeah.
I wonder how this affects Avalara.
Interestingly, I literally just had a conversation with Avalara like the day before Linda shared this with me. And they have a reinvigorated group of people very motivated to hear what as accountants think about their different services and ways that we can help improve the process. I said you could get rid of sales tax would be great, but she felt that was too big of an ask, but it was okay. So I'm going to be checking out, they've got I don't know all the details of it yet, but I'm going to be checking out one of their new like compliance tools to kind of help, that's supposed to help you figure out what your Nexus liability is for your area. So I'm excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So keep us informed.
They will also be doing a presentation for the ASG group in the very near future on all their tax products. So if you've got questions for them around that, they'll be happy to answer your questions during that hangout as well.
Awesome. Let us know. Post it in the group.
I will. I'm still in the process of setting a date.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think we're going to end, Matthew, with you with some fun Chrome tips using QBO. Cool. Yeah.
So our good friend Scott had reached out, Scott Citron had reached out and was interested to learn from everybody all their different cool tips or tricks that you can do with Google Chrome and QuickBooks Online. So we kind of put something together to show a couple, and I'll show them here.
So I really like making profiles for each QBO client, and I have a QBO or a specific Gmail for each client. So I can put that all in that profile. And when I bring it up, I can click on the link for QuickBooks Online. I can do their mail. I can use whatever other app I'm using.
Smart. That's so organized, Gina. That's so much. That's impressive because
Yeah, I have a couple reports in a folder.
And then do you never, like when you do that, do you never go like search the web while you're on there private? Just kidding.
Oh. Well, they don't see it though, I don't think.
No, but it messes up your cache, right? And your cookies and all that. So.
Right. And sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. I'm now of the mindset that when I'm on this profile, this is the things that I'm doing and what I'm doing. And then I have my own up So I can just minimize that one and then bring my own up to look up things if I need to.
That's smart.
Speaking of cookies, there is a way that if you come up here to click this little, let's see if we can do a, that doesn't get bigger. Oh, well. Click the little
Padlock.
lock here. Yes, padlock. Thank you. If you come up to here and you go to where it says cookies, click on that. It's going to pull up a big old list of all the cookies that are being used at that time. So if you need to remove cookies from a specific page that you're on, but you don't want to kill all the other ones, you could come in, click on it, and remove it. Now, I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to show you some other things in QuickBooks, and then I'd have to go log in and all that stuff as well.
Right,
But
right.
all of these different iterations would be the ones that you would want to.
That's cool. Thank you for that.
So that helps a lot.
It
Um,
immensely.
I
That is
forget
that's
where I first heard it, so I got to give props to the person. I don't remember who you are, but somebody gets props out there for that one. So
It was me.
great then.
the other one, so this is one that I've been doing for a really long time. If you've got a client that just does tons and tons and tons of checks as a deposit, I've always done where you go into the bank deposit area, right? If you have to try to find the right checks to match up together to make up the deposit amount, do Control F in your web browser. And if you've got something like Ledger Sync where you can see the different check images and the numbers, then you can just type it in and it's going to drop you straight to that number. So then
That
you
is
can
so cool.
click it off.
What is that?
Right.
F what?
You do Control F. So it's Control Find with the web browser.
Oh, fine. Okay.
And what happens is that actually works on anything, when you have anything that's a big scrolling page, like a really big report.
Yeah.
I know you can do the QuickBooks online searching, but sometimes you need to find a number in a report. You can do the Control F, type in that number, and it would find it on that same big report as well.
Is that pulling up the reference number, or is it pulling up, like, is it?
It's just searching text on the page.
Okay.
That
Because I
is
mean,
so
when I'm
awesome.
searching, I just what I do is I go to the headers and I sort by the amount and find the amounts that way. But you're doing it like finding it, like,
Yeah, so
especially if you
let's-
had multiple pages. Would it
Yeah.
work if somebody had more than 50 deposits and it was like 2 or 3 pages long? Would it still find it? I'm just
No,
curious.
it only finds what's on the page that you're on.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But
if
you can hit the next page and it'll automatically populate there too.
Correct. So that's where the idea of, like you were saying, Linda, is if you kind of sort it first,
Yeah.
that can help you get into the right realm. So we're going to take, we obviously know this is here, but I'm going to grab this random number just to pretend like we didn't know it.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know. I can't see. Look, boom. And if you start typing in and it doesn't show up the right way, you can not show it to people this way so it actually works correctly. Nice. So yeah, 2 and 2. You can see like it starts to populate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to put the decimals in. You have to match it exact. So because it's in a scrolling page, it's going to be pulling all of those different items up. And
That's cool,
if you're
though.
trying to do a quick search.
So you said Command F?
Control, we are a PC world around here, so we do control.
That's why I just checking.
Yeah, nice try. So that works really well. And then what was my third one again? You remember what my third one was?
Clear the cache.
I thought it was the profiles. I thought it was the profiles making, or reports. You can.
Oh yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly right. So, and what that is we have in our bookkeeping, I actually set this up to show people previously, our month-end reports, right? So if I need to create all of these reports for a brand new company, because they're all our templates, what I do is I come to the folder, right-click the folder, and you can say open in new window. And what it will do is as long as when you capture the URL for the bookmark, it is this large, ugly URL that has all the details in there, it will open 6 new windows, if that's how many you did, all with those reports structured the exact same way. And now what you'll have to do is you need to go in, you're going to have to modify like the name of the report because it will try to show a different company name. And then just check your settings, maybe tweak a little bit here and there, but it will create all of these. And now I can come in once they're opened, customize, save customization, and I just saved a whole bunch of time on all those different reports.
Nice. Nice.
That would work great for someone in a niche too, because if you're using the same chart of accounts, you can just kind of pull it over.
Like somebody in the lawyer niche?
Yeah, yeah, somebody like that.
So
Who would that be?
we've always done that because we'd have the same standardized reports that we do in our monthly packet, and we just use it whenever we get a new client, boom, pull it over. Because even the sharing of reports is not perfect when it comes to QuickBooks Online. Like sharing to the firm doesn't always show up the same way. One person groups them, it doesn't show grouped for the other person and such.
Thank you, Matthew. Fun tips from Chrome that really do save you time.
Yep.
So I did put that, I
the
did
duplicate
share
windows.
that little demo that you did. It's in our group.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, if anybody has any other ideas that they want to share when they're watching this, feel free to tag it in. We want to make sure we get them over to Scott because he's going to create an article, and I'm sure he'll quote people on it. And
I got
share
a few
the
more
knowledge.
coming out in the community. Shh, don't tell anybody. They're coming out tomorrow and the next day. A few more little tips that I found on the Intuit community that I remembered seeing, and so I'm sharing them in our group.
Nice. Cross share.
Yeah, they're articles, but they're relevant from that. And he can pull it. I just remembered seeing them when I was in the group because now somebody's got their face on the front page as a community something or other on the front page of the Intuit community page. Booted me off the page. Remember, my face used to be stuck on the page with the leaderboard, and now I'm off.
Yeah.
And I've been replaced. No. Yes. Can you believe it?
Nobody can replace you, Linda.
Thank you, Brad. You're driving me crazy. I need you to move a little bit over so you're in the center of the screen. Thank you. Just OCD a little.
I know, I'm like,
it's driving me nuts. Is it driving you nuts too, Sarah? You're like over here. It's like,
I haven't been watching.
over. Don't do that. That drives me bananas. It's like chewing ice. I can't take it.
Marty.
We're spinning Matthew around today. More than once he's done that with us.
Mark doesn't even turn his camera on.
Alrighty. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we end for the day? We're about out of time.
Wink. Bye.
Come on, Shannon, you got to end this for us.
What do you want me to
I
say?
did learn something.
I'm counting on you.
Brandon's talking.
I did learn something new. I'm working on a project on QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise. I've got a Excel spreadsheet. It's got over 600,000 line items that I need to import into QuickBooks Enterprise. I use Base Date Transaction Pro Importer. I've also, it crapped out on me. I also use Cessant. It crapped out on me. I learned, wait a minute. I learned in 2020 though, that they have restricted mass import. I need to go back to 2019 to do any kind of major import. I had the conversation with David Lynn, DLA, David Lynn and Associates over in Chicago. They do a lot of custom imports, a lot of custom conversions. And he confirmed that with me today. They're having to rewrite some of their software, but I'm going to have to go back to 2019, do all my imports, and then transfer back over to 2020.
Wow.
That's why you want QBO.
And Matthew, you were going to say something?
Well, first I'm gonna back Brandon here and say 6,000 inventory items is not a job for QBO. Number one.
No, but locate.
So this is invoices and then receive payments. So 600,000 line items,
I can do it.
5 to 12 line items on one invoice. So just because it's 600,000 line items, it's still significantly less transactions.
Yeah.
I would be interested to try this. So a lot of times what happens is with the import process, you have to do batch. You have to batch the transaction stuff in. So some programs like CData will actually do a push and then has to kind of wait a second and then do another push and then do another push, that kind of way. But I mean, I haven't specifically tried 2020 Enterprise, but this is what I use CData for all the time. It's doing these kind of things
Can
beautifully.
we hook up as soon as this is done?
See how excited he is? He's sitting on the edge of his chair when he gets in the mode of moving.
I can
trains.
hit you up at 4. I got a meeting with my business partner now until about 4:30, but then let's talk. Yep.
Please, hit me hard.
Oh man! Oh man!
It's been that kind of week. I mean, it's either that or I'm going to take a bath in crunchy peanut butter. So,
Well, take the bath first. Don't bring the video camera, and I'll call you when I'm done.
There's your ending show, Gina.
There you go.
There we go.
Visualize that.
So let's end the show on that
Crunchy
note.
peanut butter.
Oh.
See you all same time, same place next week.